Hey there! Good evening and welcome to another edition of the BTF, aka What the French Toast. Normally we do reaction videos, but yesterday I was watching one of my Pearly Things videos. Shout out once again, shameless plug to Just Pearly Things. And it was called Life After Divorce, and it got me to thinking. What exactly is a divorce, what it entails, and why are men so fearful of it? Because make no mistake, we are scared. First, let's start with the definition of divorce. D-I-V-O-R-C-E. In layman's terms, it's the dissolution or breakup of a man and a woman in a nuclear family. Sounds simple. And it's supposed to work. Man and woman don't see eye to eye for whatever reason. They go to the courts. They file for a divorce. They're granted that decree. They go about their business, and it's all said and done. There's a caveat, though, because what I just described is the way it's supposed to work, not exactly the way that it does. I'm going to tee up one of the videos. We're going to stop at a certain point, and we're going to discuss certain points. It's a 12-hour video. We're not going to play the whole thing due to time constraints, but we're going to play as much of it as we can, and we're going to talk about it. So here we go.
And it can be quote-unquote no one's fault.
Wow. Historically, women have always had the upper hand in being awarded child custody. Statistics show.
We're going to put that back a little bit.
She can take his finances, she can take his children, she can take his house.
Wait, hold on, pause. I'm pretty sure if she cheats, she ain't entitled to know. Because the fact that she cheats, she's lost out on everything.
No, right now in the UK there's something called no-fault divorce. Have you heard of no-fault divorce? Mm-hmm. So a no-fault divorce means somebody can they can apply or apply for a divorce, and it can be quote-unquote no one's fault.
Wow.
No-fault divorce is something that's also permanently here in the United States, so I think we had it first, and it migrated overseas. No-fault divorce simply means that no one's at fault. Traditionally and historically, you had to prove impropriety, infidelity. Someone had to be stepping outside of the vows in order for the divorce to be granted. With the advent of the no-fault divorce, that simply meant you could go and you can say you want one, and they'll say fine, you can have it. And that's it. And that's scary. Because before, there was at least a burden of proof. You had to prove to a judge that your reasoning was sound. Now you don't even have to have a reason. And that in itself takes its cue from what we had in the States, which is no-fault insurance. Which means if you got into an accident, same thing applies. You can go, you would say, no one's at fault, and the insurance company would pay out, but then they would raise your rates. But why is no-fault divorce, particularly divorce in general, so disadvantageous to men? Well, as been described several times in other podcasts, men stand to lose everything if it goes wrong. Lose the house, lose the car, lose the kids, and use all financial assets. And when I say lose, I don't mean that it's all going to magically disappear, but they're going to get at least half. And in today's society, that might as well be all because you can't live on half of anything. If it is statistically advantageous to have two incomes in today's society to just get by, how's one going to work? And it's not even a full one, it's a half one. This is why you see men going from 2, 3, 4, and 5-bedroom apartments, houses, to bed sits, to studio apartments. No, not fair. At all. And I would like someone to try and explain it to me because it's not fair at all. But it is what it is. Let's get back to the video.
Historically, women have always had the upper hand in being awarded child custody. Statistics show that women win child custody rights staggeringly at 90% of the time.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can cheat and then do no fault divorce and say it's no one's fault. And you can just apply for a divorce and it can be no one's fault and you can still get all of that stuff. Yeah.
Do you know?
That's scary. On multiple levels. A man or woman can cheat. Or better yet, a woman can cheat. Because if a man cheats, and gets caught, it is what it is. But if a woman cheats, she can then claim no fault divorce, get it granted, and still lose half her shit. Make it make sense. Let's get back to it.
I'm thinking in my head, yeah. No, not even that. forget that. You know, if you look at it the other way around, like, if you was in a marriage, yeah, and you got divorced, and the court gave you the kids, the house, the car, the alimony, would you even want to take it or like?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, she violated me and you're leaving our situation. And the fact that I'm not the type of person to go to court. So if we go to court, it was because of her. So if I won, of course, yeah, I'm going to take all of that.
No, so you're saying the woman's right to take it then?
No, she ain't right. No, she's the one that did the cheating. You can't leave. If I done the cheating, then you know what, by all means, I messed up.
It doesn't matter who cheated.
Huh?
We're going to get back to him in a second. But what the gentleman in the hoodie is saying is spot on. If I get caught cheating, I deserve whatever I get. Hopefully I get a sympathetic judge that won't take all my shit. But if she steps out on me, and we go to court, and I win, I won it. I want all of it. Now, full disclaimer and full disclosure. I'm happily married. I ain't never getting divorced. It ain't happening. Because I'm going to work every day to make sure that my marriage is sound. So this doesn't apply to me. But it does apply to many, 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 many people. And for a minute, let's just get back to the actual proceedings and stuff, so the whole concept of divorce. Back in the day, there was no such thing as divorce. they took till death do us part, quite literally. To the point where if a guy was to get out of his marriage, she'd have to die. And they do some pretty unsavory things to get there. Then, I can't remember exactly when it was, but King Henry VIII had a fight for Queen Catherine of Aragon, and she, when she was able to keep the kid, because she had quite a few miscarriages, when she actually could keep the kid, she bore a girl. And back then, the what's the word for the sexual identity of the child was thought to be determined by the female. It's been since been proven otherwise, but back then they thought it was a female. And this lady, Anne Boleyn, caught his eye, and they began to have an affair. He wanted to bed this woman in the worst possible way. And she said, hold up, no. You want this? You gotta get rid of that. If you want this, you gotta get rid of that. And we know he's a randy old soul because he then petitioned the Pope and said, look, I need an heir. This woman's giving me females. I need to find someone who's going to grant me a male heir. So I need to divorce her. And the church said, nope, can't do it. That's not a good enough reason. He said, what do you mean? I'm the king. I have to have a male heir. Because only male heir can inherit the kingdom. You got to give me a divorce. You got to give me the decree to get the divorce. And they said, nope, not happening. And he said, to hell with this. We're breaking off from the Catholic Church. We're going to create our own. Church of England. I will be the head of the Church of England, as ordained by God, as the King of England. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divorce this chick. So I can get with my true love, Anne Boleyn. And we're going to do nasty and have babies. That's why the choice, the concept of divorce to the masses became popular. Because up to that point, you had to have some real good reason to do so. Fast forward to today, you don't even need that anymore. You don't need that. All you need is somebody. Actually, no, you need to get with someone and file a no fault divorce petition. And you get it. And if you're a female, you initiate, and 70-80% of divorces are initiated by the woman, and that jumps to 90% if she's out college educated. It's a no-brainer. Let's get back to our friends and see what they're talking about.
Doesn't matter who cheated.
How you mean?
Because if the man cheated and she leaves, she could leave. If she cheated, she could leave. Right? It doesn't matter.
Nah, but and see, in a marriage, it's not even just that same. The fact that one cheats and then the other one leaves, you're breaking up the home. So regardless,
Yeah, but if you're breaking up the home, should you be the one that's getting everything?
No. In all fairness, no. I don't believe so.
But what if it's like a weird situation if the man cheats, but he has everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is he supposed to give everything to the woman because he cheats and he decides to leave?
And that's
When that's all.
Yeah, that's
his.
Well, a lot of the time, even when the man cheats, he still gets a lot of his stuff taken away anyway. So, like, he gets.
Well, and what they don't talk about is that 1 in 4 marriages are sexless. So it's like if you're 1 in 4. So if you're starving your man of sex and he goes and gets it elsewhere, that's your own damn fault. I swear.
Preach. Preach, bro, preach. There are good points being brought up all around. Her saying that 1 in 4 marriages are sexless, which means the male either actually no, he hasn't had sex in 6 months or more. They consider that sexless. And I don't know how you do that. That's simply because let's take a step back and let's look at the whole thing of love and marriage and all that stuff. Love is the ultimate expression. It's the ultimate high. You don't get any higher. When you're in love, you can go past the sky. The limit is your imagination. And sex and marriage is the ultimate expression of that love. It's the ultimate expression of it. So, to have a sexless marriage, how can you love them? How can you love them? Love is the greatest emotion that man can attain, and sex is the ultimate expression of that love. So how do you deny it?
I don't feel bad for you if you get cheated on.
Nah, that's an agenda.
If you're not sleeping with your husband and he cheats on you, like that is your own goddamn fault. I swear to God. And some other girl says, you know what, I'm gonna do what she's not. But yeah.
No, but what's the like price, like in terms of like the types of people that are getting married? So like in terms of the monies that they make, like is it more
Generally, you mean?
Yeah, like statistically, would it be more?
I think rich people get married.
Right. Yeah. So it's rich people, right? So if we're talking about rich people getting
You have to be able to afford a wedding.
Exactly. Yeah. Boom. So if the girl should be working anyway, she's independent. So assuming she's independent, right? We live in an equal society right now. She should be working as well.
Do we?
So
Do we live in an equal society?
Assuming we live in an equal society, you get me?
Yeah.
Like inverted commas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying the way that it's structured right now. She's supposed to be working.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's working and she leaves, how are you going to be able to say the same thing that you were saying back in the day before? Like, because you're going to say, so her excuse for taking the kids before was, oh, he's working all the time, he's not going to have time to look after the kids. But she's working now, so she has to work double time now.
Mm-hmm. Just be able to make it.
That's a good point. With feminism pushing for equality, and we're all equal now, the main argument that a woman would have in taking the children would be, he can't watch them. I have to stay home to watch them. Therefore, I have to go. I need this. I need children, I need money, blah, blah, blah. But in today's society, when we are equal, all things being equal, feminism is taking that away from themselves. But that goes back, and I'm going to come out of this again. You'll be joining in and out of this thing quite regularly. But that there is the product of overcorrection. Man in general, and white men in particular, have visited this upon us. Because somewhere, sometime, somewhere along the line, women were complaining, this isn't fair, blah, blah, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. And some man said, you know what? They're right. We have to make this fair. And then some guy probably said, well, you know what then? We should make it so that you get divorced, we're going to look at the assets and divide equally. And the head man said, nope, that's not good enough. We're going to go the completely opposite direction. We're just going to award her everything. She wants it, she gets it. If we can finesse it or finagle it for her, we will. She'll get more. Overcorrection, overcompensation. That is the hallmark of white government. And I can say that because it happens across the board, just about everything you can imagine. I'm taking affirmative action. On its face, it sounds great. We're going to allow non-white people. We're going to make it a quota so that you have to employ and retain a certain amount of non-white people in order to benefit from the government. Sounds great. I'm all for it. But then they went the opposite. They went completely opposite, and they said, okay, well, you can't hire any you can't hire any white people until you hire this amount of non-white people. If you got a position and you have two equally what's the word? Equal candidates. They both bring the same skill sets, same everything to the table. You have to give it to the black person first. You have to give it to the brown person first. You have to give it to the non-white person first. Which opens up another can of fish, because then you can hear white people saying, well, that's not fair. I have the same, why'd you give it to him? I have the exact same qualifications. And that goes back to this. And I'm going to say it twice for you all. If the businesses in question acted right the first time, government wouldn't have had to get involved. And I'll say that again. If the businesses in question acted right the first time, that means when they had people vying for jobs and they dispersed the jobs equally, or as equally as possible, because you're going to get some situations where it's going to come across as not being fair. But if it's fair for the most part, the government doesn't step in, because the government isn't asked to redress it. So there's no government involvement, and everything is fine. It's even better than fine because people are acting right. It's an incredibly simple concept. I honestly think that now they should have a hybrid form of it, where you have to have an equal amount of representation. You need X-Black, X-White, X-Latino, X amount of natives, X amount of Asians, X amount of women. And once you fill up those spots, you're good to go. If you lose one of those spots, and let's say it's a woman, you open up the applications, but a woman's going to get it because you're replacing like for like. Conversely, if it's a white person gets it. If it's a black person gets it. If it's Latino gets it. And so on and so forth, right down the line. And I'm sure that they'll find a way to somehow screw that up. Because as I said before, and I'll say it until I can't speak anymore, the world would be so much better if people weren't in it. People screw up. And then they acknowledge it after a whole bunch of pushback. And do this half-ass change thing, which is accepted until it shows the proven that it doesn't work, and then the cycle starts all over again. Divorce itself, as a construct, doesn't work. It doesn't work financially. It doesn't work emotionally because somebody's going to get hurt in it. It doesn't hurt it hurts spiritually because if you're religious, you don't believe in it. It's going to hurt. It's just up to the individuals in that situation to A, see how much it hurts, and B, try to triage the hurt as much as humanly possible. Let's get back to the video and see what we're gonna see.
Well, when it comes to go on, pal.
I looked up the reasons that women and men file for divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And one, and this is, and there's some articles that are, it's kind of like, I'm not sure, like some of them kind of switch, but one is the couple stopped loving this is for women, the couple stopped loving each other. Does that sound more like women or men?
It sounds like women.
Being bad with money.
Yes,
so money is financial is second. The other party having personal problems, lack of love and affection. For men, the top four is infidelity, lack of appreciation, lack of affection, and lack of commitment. That's what it says.
And we already know that in the UK, 64% of divorces are initiated by women. In the US, it's 64%. In the US, it's 70 to even 90% if you're college educated.
No, but I'm saying that's bringing back to my point. So I'm saying they're incentivized to do it.
Yeah.
So can you really blame someone for being sensitive? Like if you told me just marry this girl and in a year's time you could just divorce her and take everything she's earned, take all her things, and then the system's done for you to do that, I would go and do it. Do you know what I mean?
He's right. He's right. Can't hold to that. But the problem with what he's saying is that it's more the other way around. Because men are expected to be men. No matter whose fault it is, you're going to pay because you can build yourself back up and you can recreate the wealth that you lost, and you can live your life and be better for it. No. Hate to be the one to tell you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. Because there's a lot of trauma, a lot of damage that comes from divorce. Women tend to deal with divorce differently from men. In order for a woman to initiate divorce, she must fall out of love with her partner. And studies have shown that women tend to check out 3 to 6 months before the actual divorce. That's when they tend to check out. And then it just goes on in a downward spiral until the day comes to, you know what, this isn't working. We have irreconcilable differences and we're going to divorce. Irreconcilable differences. That's the no fault divorce claim that women like to throw around. Irreconcilable differences. There's no such animal. I'm here to tell you, there's no such thing. Any difference that a man and woman have in their relationship can be addressed and fixed if both parties wanted to. And like I said, because by the time the divorce is filed, the paperwork is filed, woman's falling all the way out of love, there's no coming back for her. She's out. And that goes to the next point of this whole divorce thing, that it goes against men. Women are incentivized to file for divorce and divorce their spouses. No shade. No cap. That's the honest to goodness truth. How are they incentivized, you might ask? Well, let's look at a couple. Let's look at a few. They take it to court, and they win. They're going to win up to 90% of the time, which means you got to be a real bitch to lose the divorce case. You got to be a horrible person. If you had even a modicum of decency, and you know how to keep your mouth shut during the proceedings, you're going to win. And when you do win, he's ordered to pay alimony, which is a fixed amount every year until either she dies or she gets remarried. Which also explains a little bit why there are so many women out here who are divorcees and are trying to get married. I got a guaranteed windfall coming every month from this school. I'm not going to screw it up by getting remarried. So you have alimony. You got the dreaded child support, which is so many dollars per child that the man's going to have to pay. If you don't pay it, you're going to jail. Simple. You pay it, or you're just in jail for a while. And then when you come out again, you got to pay back support for the months that you missed. And then you continue paying what you normally pay. You see where I'm getting at? It's not fair. And now let's look at other things. Financial assistance. She's getting at least half. So, unless you make a whole bunch of money, house is gone. You have to sell it to give her her half. The car. Financial obligations. You gotta sell it because she gets half of that. Any money you have in the bank, frozen, and she gets half. So you can see where a savvy woman can game the system legally and come out smelling like a bed of roses. Well, the man is holding a cup, looking around going, what the hell just happened? What happened? How did I get here? And for the times that a man does it to himself, hey, that's on you. You chose to step out, and worse, you got caught. So you deal with the consequences. That's one thing. Well, a man's doing everything he can to hold it down. And he gets hit with this seemingly out of left field. I thought he was fine. Now I'm being served with a divorce. I thought he was alright. What do you mean irreconcilable differences? And because the courts are prejudged to award everything to a woman, they really don't want to hear what the man has to say. Of course, he can go through the motions. But unless he can prove that she's not fit, she gets everything. And there is another dilemma, because now any guy who is going through this with any sort of decency about him is thinking, I can't do that. I can show it. It doesn't make it right. I can't drag her name through the mud like that. So they take it and get railroaded for it. Is it right? No. Is it fair? No. Is it just? Hell no. It is what it is, and it needs to change. Like yesterday. But it's going to keep on and keep on until the FAFO effect rears its ugly head. Because the wrong woman on the wrong day is going to try to fleece or finesse the wrong guy. And it just is what it is after that. Back to the topic.
So I don't think like, if you told me there's £1 million inside of the truck, I'm gonna go get it. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're giving me a reason.
I blame you if you care more about finances than your children. If you want to put your kid at every statistical disadvantage you could ever put a kid at just for a bag, man or woman, I judge you for that.
No, but
that's selfish.
No, you're
Once again, no shade. You can do that. You can take the man to the cleaners. You can take his children. All this stuff. You can do that. Legally. But what happens after it's all said and done? It's been proven that single mother households have children that fare the worst statistically in just about every metric across the board. Now, Does that mean it's specifically single mothers? No. It can happen in single parents and fathers. It can happen in couples. It can happen in a happily married house. You could turn on a son or daughter who's a total fuck up. It happens. But the probability of it happening decreases when there are two committed parents in the house. It decreases, not increases. Hold on a second. We made a mistake here.
What up, guys? It is Tuesday.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in heaven with my wives, isn't it? Like,
So,
I forgot about that.
so given the current system that I said, like, you would get married under this marriage system, knowing that you could lose everything.
I wouldn't lose everything.
I said knowing that you could lose everything.
I couldn't lose everything.
Every man could.
No, it's impossible.
Really? Why?
Because I'll have more than one.
No, but imagine both of them divorce you and take your money.
Then there will be another line up. You know what I'm saying? We make money over SRE, so you take half and then and let's see what you do with the half. Have you ever heard stories about what people?
He's a fool. Every now and then he comes up with some valid points. He's a fool. If he wants to be polygamous, and he wants two wives, and both wives file for divorce, he has nothing. And he never will have anything, because everything he earns will go to those two wives. So you can stop that BS. It can't happen to me. It's impossible. It's impossible right up to the time where it does actually happen. And you're not prepared for it because you, in your eyes, it can never happen. So you come unprepared and you get hit with it like a 2x4 and you got to deal with the pieces. You're an idiot. You're a complete and total idiot. We're going to go past this a bit.
You need to save for a rainy day, and I was just like, we can't win, bro.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever
Like,
heard.
we can't win.
Like, because he saved too
Because
much.
like,
Probably didn't spend.
We just
do
run a
not
little
know
bit.
what's going on. They say they want stability,
Let's see what
but
he's
when
going to
women get stability, they start filing for divorces.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
because they know that it
It's like
becomes boring.
it's boring. It's like they want something more exciting
It's
than,
too vanilla.
yeah, it's too vanilla. But
Actually, I have a question for the girls. Okay, would you rather date a musician?
We'll get back to that, but I just got to say, I am probably one of the luckiest, if not the luckiest man on the planet. Because I'm married to a woman who enjoys boredom. She's happy with it. She doesn't want drama. And I know this because when we lived in North Carolina some time ago, we were going through some housing issues. We were talking one day, and I told her, I said, well, at least it's never boring with me. She said, I want it to be boring. I prefer it. Which stuck in my brain. It's like, well, she likes boring. Okay. We'll make it boring. Here we are some 10, 15 years later. Well, more like 20 years later. Still going strong?
Or an accountant?
She's dated a musician before.
You did, so you picked musician?
Yeah.
Musician, okay.
What about you?
Probably the musician as well, yeah.
What about you, Jess?
I love music, so I would date the musician.
Man, watch this. See the musician? That's not stability.
No.
I know it's not, but obviously I could go for the accountant, but I love music, so like I think it would be, I'm saying I'd be boring with the accountant, because the accountant could love music, but it's just like a musician.
No.
I'm gonna rebut that a little bit. The guy said that musicians are very stable. I say, what about studio musicians? Studio musicians are musicians who work in the studio. The difference between them and, let's say, a band, they have a steady stream of work. Because if you have a singer that comes in to record, it's just a singer. He needs a band behind him to back him. So they hire musicians to come into the studio and record his tracks. And it's a real cushy gig if you can get it. And it's stable in the fact that you're working more times than you're not, and you can still be home doing the things that you love to do at home. You can be a father to the children. You can be there, take on trips and stuff like that. And you have money left over to go on vacations and holidays and things like that. So, that's a win. What if the dub?
See, but it proves my point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, women don't want stability. Like, that's the most unstable job you could possibly have.
Real for real.
As music.
Take it back. Take it back, Burley. Take it back. As a semi-professional musician myself, take it back. I don't like it. But statistically and generally speaking, she's not wrong. But the instability comes with the band. Because if you're hot today, you can be cold tomorrow. You can have a smash hit freshman album and bomb your sophomore effort. That's what you do like me. You put your stuff out, but you keep your primary occupation going until such time that you no longer need it, because the music has surpassed the 9-to-5 income as your main income. Let's go back and listen to some more of this wonderful stuff.
But we all pick music.
I actually watched a TikTok video recently with a woman. She was on, she was speaking to this other guy, and he was like, "Why did you file for divorce?" And she was like, "Oh, he was really good with money, and he would save, and it was like he didn't really want to spend." And it's like, so he was financially stable, and he was, good with money, and that's what really pissed you off. She was like, "Yeah, he didn't really want to do anything with the money, and he was always saying we need to save for a rainy day," and I was just like, we can't win, bro.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever
We can't win.
Like, because he saved too much.
Because he probably didn't spend on what she wanted.
She wanted him to spend on.
The buffoonery that doesn't help bring in the income.
I have a question. Would you guys go, so who has their nails done here? For you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do any of you get, like, your makeup done or anything with lash lifts, any of that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Would you guys go down in lifestyle? So no new clothes, no nails done, nothing like that. So like in a year, you might get a couple new outfits. That's it. For a family. and you'd have to work twice as hard and make like no extra, like you get no extra discretional income.
Oh, how I would love for the women on the panel to say, yes, I would. Let's see what they say.
For a family, would you, yes or no?
Oh yeah,
Go
but
down in
I did
lifestyle.
that, of course. I did that for 3 years, continuing still now, and then I did that 13 years helping family too.
Okay, good, good. What about you? You go down in lifestyle for a family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much lower my lifestyle can get, but outside of that, my lifestyle is pretty like
Yeah, it is.
neutral. So yeah, I'll go down there. I don't need my nails done.
Do you women?
They all get the right answers. I give them the side eye. Because they give them the right answers for the camera. One thing that I've noticed about podcasts in general is that unless the guest in question sits on a topic that they're passionate about and are ready to defend it, they tend to be politically correct. All the right answers. They tick all the boxes. Said this, yes. Said that, yes. Said this, yes. Said that, yes. Said the other, yes. Do you do this? No. Do you do that? No. Do you do the other? No. Everything is checked nice and neat in a box with a bow. My question simply is, do you really believe that? Do you honestly believe the stuff that's coming out of your mouth? Or are you saying it to score points? You can tell when a guy is simping. When a guy is all in his beta energy. Because he'll say things that he thinks is going to get him laid. So whatever the woman says, he'll agree with. Or he'll spout the talking points that make women go, that's true, yeah, right, yes, yes, yes. Because he believes that he says it to enough people, he'll get laid. Women don't have that telltale sign. It's hard to read. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a lot harder to read though. Like, the girl on the left here. When she was asked, would she forego all that stuff for her family? She said yes. But looking at the way she's dressed, I call bullshit. No, you won't. No, you don't. No, you wouldn't. Because it means unless this is dime store jewelry, it's gone. Unless this is your father's jacket, it's gone. Unless this is your father's pants, they're gone. And although I have met plenty of women who dress the way I just described, I'm batting shit up. But here she is. I do that. Yeah, I would. Really? Really? Let me get out your way when lightning strikes you. Let me move over to the right here.
Did that 13 years helping family too.
Okay, good, good. What about you? You go down in lifestyle for a family?
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
I don't know how much lower my lifestyle can get, but
Girl, you live in a past.
outside of that, my lifestyle is pretty like
Yeah, it is.
neutral. So yeah, I would go down in it. I don't need my nails done.
Do you women think that it's talking about divorce? You think it's better for women than it is for men after divorce?
Women,
Women?
is it? You saying? Do you think it's better?
Yeah, do you think it's better? Because I'm going to read you some divorce settlements, right? So Melinda Gates, when Aaron Bill Gates divorced, she's now worth 6.7 billion. Mackenzie Scott, who is Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, she's now worth 27.9 billion. Nicole Young, who is Dr. Dre's ex-wife, she's now worth 100 million. So women get a lot of money from these divorces, and men get to kind of see their empire slashed in half and crumble.
I don't know, I guess there's kind of like a little bit of like an after rush. After being in a relationship for a long time and you get out of it, whether, you know, it was you or the other person stopping it, there is just like this thing where you were low for however long you were low for, but then at one point when you get out of that, you do feel almost like new kind of again. I don't know, it's just...
I call Cap. No, I said I was going to stop. Liar. I call liar. The main reason why women ask for and tend to get these outrageous settlements is because they are maintaining the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. Which sounds good until you realize that the husband made it possible. If you were bussing tables before you met your husband, and he goes through this struggle, you did help him. So, you supported him. And he's rich. And you decide to divorce him. Why do you consider yourself needing to maintain the lifestyle that you're accustomed to? Because it's never anything substantial. It's clothes, it's cars, it's jewelry. Get a damn job. We had to. Get a job. You want to be independent. And here's what's really kills about this whole independent stuff. If you really, really want to be independent, don't take my money. You didn't earn it. Make your own. How about that? Make your own. We're going to fast forward this a little bit. Oh, I don't want to see that. I remember that. That was stupid.
Hobbies, hanging out with friends, vacations, maybe you're into painting, whatever you like doing, do that. Do it for you.
Thanks, Blessed. I guess you kind of get the gist there. Guy went through a divorce. I want to ask a question after hearing that to the guys. Have you guys ever gone through a breakup and it's made you feel like that guy felt?
I'd be capping if I say I didn't. Because I'd be capping if I say I didn't. That feeling that it's almost because you know you can't get it back, and it's the frustration of not being able to hold things down. You end up getting overwhelmed where you feel like you're gonna explode, and there's no other way to explode. So the waterfalls might end up running, but yeah, I've definitely felt very similar. Obviously not the same level because this is a deeper situation, but basically, yeah, I skimmed some of that.
Every male has felt that at some point in their lives. Every male that has truly loved someone has felt that way. He would already lay eggs in the basket, and then she cuts the bottom off the basket. And you have to piece it together again. Now, for those that are curious, that video was about a guy who went through a divorce. Lost his wife, lost his kids, lost his house, lost everything. Lost everything. And had the prospect of starting over again. Which is a truly terrifying thought. You struggle. You fight. You think you're the support of your partner, which you build up this nest egg, this empire, this legacy, just to watch you cut it out from underneath your legs. And like I said before, the reason why all this stuff is given to the woman, because the man's expected to start from scratch, redo the things he did before, and be successful with it. And be none the wiser. None the wiser. But he'd be like nonplussed. And I'm sorry, life doesn't work that way. Life does not work that way. If you script, if you save, if you fight, if you do all this stuff with the end goal of leaving a legacy for your spouse and your children, and your spouse cuts the legs out from underneath you, if she kneecaps you, she gets all the stuff that you work for, the car, the house, the kids, all that stuff, she gets it. And here you are, out on the street, looking for roommates. How are you supposed to feel? And remember, men are shamed if they cry or show any emotion other than stoicism. Man up. Real men don't cry. Put somebody's bootstraps. She's got my boots. All I have left are my tears. Now you told me I can't exercise that for fear of not being a man, as to be considered a wussy or worse. Miss me with that. You're crazy. Here's what quite a few men in their position are feeling. They've worked hard for many years. First, to gain the status to meet their potential mate, to marry that mate, to continue to build a future for themselves. He sires children. Everything looks great. And then it happens. And it happens a lot more than we care to admit. It happens a lot more than we care to admit. Because, as stated before, women tend to initiate divorce. In the U.S., it's 70 to 80%. And then it jumps to 90% if they're college educated, which means it's money issue then, because they're making more than their man. it really looks like it's a losing proposition for men to get married. A losing proposition all the way around. I see no upsides to it. Which is why, if I was single now, I'd be a confirmed bachelor. I'd date. I'd smash. But I'd try and wipe somebody? No. Not at all. Because to my logical brain, the minuses outweigh the pluses. The rewards are not worth the risk. If so many marriages are ending in divorce, that's over 50% today. That's 51 to 49, 52 to 40% chance that the marriage will fail. Why would I do it? And then the reason hit me. The reason why I do it is because I believe in marriage. I believe in the goodness of people. Sure, I talk a lot about how I don't generally trust people. And I don't. I don't. Under no stretch of the imagination do I honestly believe that people have my best interest at heart. They don't. Everybody's in it for themselves. So if you're in it for yourself, I'll be in it for myself. Me and my family, we're all right over here. You stay the hell over there. And we'll be just fine. I believe that the good can outweigh the bad. I'll have better days. I'll have more positive days than negative days. I honestly, truly believe that. It keeps me going. You knock me down, I'll dust myself up and get back up again. And I'll try again. And again, and again, and again if necessary. I've been dragged down pretty low in life. But I've been able to rise back above it. And all in all, I'm happy with the life I have. Can it be better? Yeah, sure. I'm not making the money I think I should be making. I feel I should be making. Not yet, anyway. That doesn't stop me from trying. Divorce is a bad word for me. Which brings up a lot of negative emotions and negative pictures and negative feelings. Again, we can do better. We are better than that. I don't want to even contemplate life after divorce because I don't want to contemplate divorce. It's alien to me. The thought of waking up every day and not having my wife at my side chills me to the bone. The thought of something going on. And me just say, honey, guess what? And realize no one's there. The thought of an empty house, devoid of laughter, devoid of crying and screaming and everything else goes with it. Because all in all, it's all a blessing. You don't experience any of it if you're not in a position to have it in the first place. Please do better. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, we operate in power 5. Like. Quick thing you can do, best thing you can do. Takes a second. Comment. Let us know in the comments below what you're thinking. We can't grow if we don't know. Subscribe. Get a subscription list. Get on it. Notify. Be a notification bell. Be one of the first to know when new content is uploaded to the service. Share. You really like what we're doing? Tell a friend or 2 or 3. They may do the same. Before you know it, you got a cavalcade of people that are clamoring for more content, which will be more than happy to oblige and deliver. Those 5 actions will help us grow and scale to heights that I could only dream of. And with that, this is Obie Jay, your highly favored, humble, and gracious host, and grateful, saying take care of yourselves. Peace to you all, and good night.